Alright. Hey there guys. This is basically just going to be a video going over some tips and tricks, some things to look out for when doing your visions. Heaven is off. There's not too much to it once you get the hang of it, but it can be a lot to take in when you first start. So I'm just going to go over some basic things to help you along your way. And I just grabbed the one mask I didn't want to grab. So these masks are used to make your time in here much more difficult, but you're going to get more mementos and achievements and all this other, I believe you get higher item level gear as rewards as you wear these as well. So a lot of good benefits to making it harder for you. We can probably do 5 masks. I haven't given it a go just yet, and I'll hopefully do that in a future video, but as we are standing right now, we're going to go ahead and go with 4 masks. The 4 that I prefer are the Burnt Bridge, so you're going to leave void zones behind you. If you step into those, take some sanity away, not too big of a deal. The next runner-up is the Daredevil. So this one can be really punishing if you're not watching your feet and paying attention during boss mechanics, because you're going to take about 4 times as much sanity damage. That tends to be a bit more difficult just because you're going to have to deal with, well, your sanity pool draining, which is the main concern of running this. So Dark Imagination, not too bad. More often than not, with your tree that you build, you're going to be able to keep your sanity up pretty frequently. But in the event that you go below 50%, it's going to spawn a little faceless guy to chase you down. Our 4th mask is going to be the one that causes 2 madnesses per zone. Now this one can be a huge pain, just because basically you're going to have certain ones that are actually counteracting each other. So I believe in this one we're going to be dealing with the zones that are going to spawn around you, so you can only get out one way, and so you don't really want to move because you can just run straight into it, get disoriented, and then you're kind of going to get knocked there. And then on top of that, you're going to have one that you need to run out of a little circle. So they kind of attack each other and make it a little bit more difficult when mixing those two. But if you know your mechanics pretty well, then you're not going to really run into too many issues there. Alright, let's go ahead and get in there. So once this goes through, so the very first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get up to the dead body that has a potion next to it, because that's, believe it or not, going to be the bad potion in this situation. So we want to find out what that is, so that way we have a good potion labeled out, so we know which ones that we want to be grabbing along for the ride. So it looks like red is on the ground, and so red's opposite is blue. So any blue potion is going to give us sanity back. Now if you're a stealthy, you can go ahead and grab these chests and potions while still in stealth, so make sure you're utilizing that. So we got 2 blues right here. That is actually wonderful. So we're going to keep those on the side for now, just because we want to go ahead and utilize those later. So grab our odd crystal there. The more odd crystals you grab, the better memento reward you're going to have at the end. And I'll get into that here probably closer to the end of the video. So now I've gone ahead and spawned the male boss. So there are going to be one of these per zone, and I'm going to go ahead and grab all of these guards, because these guards can be a little bit of a pain, but more it's just for the smooth run as we go along here. So I'm going to go ahead and kill all this, just get it out of the way. So this little guy in here is actually going to give us a buff. So one of the 2 locations is going to be open in the front area. This one happened to be open this time, and so he's going to give us a little buff. So you're going to see it right there, 1 hour of versatility plus 7%. So that'll be really nice, because that's actually one of my better stats. So I got a red potion there. That one's going to drain your sanity. And we're going to go ahead and get past these guys and past these guys. Obviously, if you're not a stealthy, it's not going to be as easy to just go ahead and skip past most of this stuff, but killing it isn't too bad. So, come on, give me my power. Alright, so you don't have to worry about killing those tumors necessarily. I just wanted to go ahead and get my buff re-upped on the Vision Hunter. That's going to give you 3% haste if you got your tree maxed out per stack, and that's going to be per kill. So if you got a 5 stack, so you're rocking your 15% movement speed, 15% haste, then all you have to do is make sure that you're killing a mob once a minute, and you'll be good to go there. Alright, so I look to the right here, and these guys are actually hiding in one of my 2 chests. So these little chests are going to become available as you get your treasure hunter skill in your tree. But basically rank 1 is going to allow you to see 3 chests in the very beginning area. Rank 2 is going to allow you to see 2 chests in the second areas, and then in the big time lost areas you're going to be able to see 2 in those areas as well. So you're going to have 2 big ones per one of these, and then in the very starting area you're going to have 3. So just keep an eye out for those. Looks like our damage done buff is up right here. You're going to see right here all these mines. If you step on one of these mines, it's going to go ahead and kick you out to the front. So we're going to avoid those. This one in particular, you stand on it, you get a little 10% damage buff, and then go ahead and step on a mine that'll put you outside. This one won't always be up. It could be a different one, but for the time being, we got it. So we want to make sure that we're lighting all these bombs. We got 8 of them to go. I'm going to go ahead and make a bigger pull here. If you're not feeling comfortable popping these kind of pulls, don't worry about it. You can pull this at your own pace, but as you get higher and higher, you're obviously going to want to challenge yourself in order to try and get the best rewards that you can. So I'm going to go ahead and kill this guy real fast. There we go. And this little guy chasing me is actually one of the affixes I was telling you about, the madnesses. If he reaches you, you're going to get stunned, and it's going to drain your sanity. It's just not fun, so go ahead and make sure you're paying attention to them. They like to get real close and personal. So, alright, and what is that? It's a black liquid. We'll go ahead and get this bomb. Keeping an eye out for those odd crystals as usual. And I used to skip these bombs, but I'm going to go ahead and grab them on my way through, even if you just sacrifice this one. And I wasn't in stealth, so that kind of there goes that. I normally like to make this a little bit of a bigger pool, but since I just went ahead and did a dumb and pulled them, we'll clear them out real quick so we can grab this odd crystal and pop this bomb. And then we'll make a slightly lesser pull from what I normally do here. So I'm going to pull these. You gotta be really careful not to pull more than you can handle, because it's very easy to get caught with some mechanics and just go ahead and go down. So let's go ahead and make sure we're paying attention here and just avoiding any of the stuff on the ground. The little trail that you're seeing me run through every now and then, so long as you're not dipping in it for too long, you're not going to get hit by it. You got like a half a second before it actually ticks, so should be good there. Alright, this should be our last bomb. Yep. Here's our plunger. Get up here. And we got a box up here, so we're going to go snag that real quick. This guy, he's not too bad. He's actually pretty tame. So I'm not going to worry too much about popping any crazy stuff. Mainly he's just going to be throwing those bombs, and since we're going to go ahead and kill him well before those are going to matter, I'm not even going to worry about kicking him. And just make sure you're avoiding his breath. So there he goes. And then make sure we go around all this crud up here. And we're just going to go straight into the next area from here. So we got, if you're an outlaw or a warrior, you can go ahead and skip that eyeball and all that just to save you a little bit of time. We got our little scouts here.
Shaw's lieutenants hold the keys to SI-7 headquarters. They're hunting down anyone who opposes me. You killed him.
Ooh, that's not good. It's really not good. Yep. Kind of got stuck by my mechanic or my madness there, so it's going to drain a little bit of my sanity. I should get most of that back though, just because when I kill this chick here, we're going to get 200 back because of our advancement. So there's 1050, so that's not too bad. Gonna go ahead and take a look for any blue potions up here. It might give me some of my sanity back. Looking like no such luck. So, alright. Now, keep an eye on these informants because they actually have an ability once they transform where they're going to, so there's the one transform right there, and I just ran right into that, so that's good. Touch of the Abyss, that's what we're going to need to make sure we're interrupting because those, it's going to stun you about 4 seconds, keep you in place, you're not going to be able to, PvP trinket out of that, obviously. And so you just want to make sure that we're locking that down, whether by CC or interrupts. They shouldn't try it again if you CC them. Alright, so my cloud, okay. Yep, going cloudy, so just go ahead and, I did not see one there, okay. So when your screen starts to get purple and cloudy, that's giving you the indicator that, hey, you're going to be surrounded by a bunch of U's here in a second, and you want to really pay attention to that because you really, really don't want to be walking into those in really tough situations. Normally I would pull much bigger than this, but we're having some technical difficulties here. Alright, there we go. Alright, go ahead and pull these, and we have got some ranged in there, so I'm going to go ahead and pull around the corner just to make sure that they're not just free casting on me and they actually all group up. So remember to keep an eye on the informants because we're going to be dealing with their stun. And we must have gotten pushed into that because I didn't actually move, but alright. So kill those, and then we'll be welcome to jump in here and kill this guy. This guy's going to give us another buff. So we're going to go ahead and kill him. We got the purple haze coming up, so make sure we're not stepping into any of those echoes. But now we actually have one that we need to get out of at the same time, so that's where those madnesses tend to get a little bit of a little tricky. So we're going to grab our chest here, which means we still have one more chest to grab outside. And there's our purple again, and they have locked me in. Rude. Alright, so let's double check around the corners here. We're gonna have another stealthy in with this. Make sure we focus that informant down first so we don't have to worry about that. And we got a purple haze, make sure we're standing still. So it would definitely help if when these spawn, if you are able to get away from them, I would suggest doing so. That way if something does pop up that you need to move out of, you're able to do that freely. So alright, and here's our second big guy in this area, so we need to make sure that we're oh, and I wasn't paying attention to the informant. That might be my got out just in time. Alright, so we went ahead and cloaked some of those mechanics because they were just messing me up. So that's going to give me 200 sanity back, and it looks like my other chest just happens to be in the worst possible place here. So I'm going to try and make my way over here. That way we can get the rest of our mementos and help buy some socket gear and stuff like that later. So here we go, make sure we're focusing that informant. I'm really not getting any procs here. There's that touch of the abyss, but we were able to get him before. Squishy little Rouge getting hit pretty hard, but should be okay. Alright, got some good buffs there. This slow is no joke. Okay. And yep, that's right in that. So I'm going to get a couple of sanity drains there, but no biggie. Go ahead and snag this chest. And I did get hit by a little extra that I was really hoping not to earlier, so let's go ahead and, before we pull Matthias Shaw, we're likely going to go ahead and pop one of our first restoration orbs. That way we can basically regen our sanity while we fight him. And, okay, so we're going to go ahead and pop some stuns here because they're hurting something fierce. Alright, so now our mailbox guy is going to be right here, right outside this. And this is just, as I believe I mentioned earlier, it's going to be increasing our chances of getting a mount. Nothing gear-wise or anything, no kind of boost there. And she is taking her sweet time to go ahead and hit that. There we go. Alright, so we got our little insanity guy here because we're below half. So we're going to go ahead and kill this guy, and actually I'm very grateful for that because that's allowing us to get our kill to top off our Vision Hunter, as well as giving me some combo points to go ahead and top myself off. So go ahead and pop that. Go ahead and aggro Matthias after that. And now with these eyes, we're going to need to make sure that we are staying behind. So these eyes cannot be looking us dead in our eye, because otherwise it's going to be draining the living heck out of your sanity, and that's no fun. And I might actually just go ahead and pop Cloak on this one, just because they are draining my sanity pretty heavily while I'm disoriented there. Just get some hits in the meantime, pull a little bit away from the eyes so that way I can back up to avoid getting hit by those as much as I can. So we gotta make sure we're turning to turn away, and I got hit by that disorient. Probably gonna lose quite a bit of sanity on this one, but it's okay. Alright, when he comes back, we should be able to get him. There you are. Boop. Alright. So, look at our sanity is all topped off. We're good to go into the other two wings now. I actually don't remember if I got my second chest in there, so that might have been a dumb move on my part, but oh well. Looks like our speed buff fell off during that boss, which tends to happen, so we can go ahead and top ourselves off here. And we still have 2 blue potions near the entrance, so we still have those to bank on. That's going to be really useful later. Alright, so we're going to pull ahead, and I can go ahead and just run through these because they're actually not going to keep me in combat.
We'll never forsake the light.
Okay. I like to go right first because the pack that's actually on the left, we can actually completely bypass them altogether. So, rather than waste our time killing mobs that don't need to be killed, let's just go ahead and bypass them and, you know, have a better time. Alright, so first and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and go into this little pack. These guys can be a bit of a pain, but so long as you're paying attention and not standing in all of the hot garbage around your feet, you'll be fine. Again, these pulls aren't indicative of what you should be doing. It's just kind of how I've personally optimized my runs in terms of what I normally can handle versus what would be beneficial. So let's go ahead and pull this mailbox guy here. I like to pull him directly into this pack here. The reason I like to do that is because basically once we kill the other guy, he's actually going to spawn the little boss dude that's going to be right here next to us. And he is a pain in the butt. So I would like to just clear away his area before he's even here. That way I don't have to even deal with it. Alright. Make sure that little shadow gets right up on you, gets a good sniff. That's really the way you want to go with these, eh? Alright, this pull can be a bit of a pain in the butt, so be careful if you want to be pulling those mobs into this guy, because this guy has some pretty punishing mechanics if you don't finish him off quickly. Agonizing Torment being just a constant stream of sanity drain, and as you can see, I kicked the first one, but I can't get the next one, and I want to go ahead and save my Cloak of Shadows for more of a difficult time, because he really didn't get that much of my sanity with it. The main thing you're going to have to worry about is if you're fighting him for a little bit of an extended period of time, he's going to start using an ability that makes you take 0 healing, and that can be really punishing if you're depending on your class. Alright, and let's make sure, one thing we need to make sure with this guy, do not let his Chains of Servitude pull you into that circle. It is a huge sanity drain. By huge, I mean my thought is it's probably give or take 40% of your health, and so we really want to avoid that, or 40% of your sanity. So let's go ahead and grab these prisoners out, because we just need to save these 8 people real fast. Looking around for blue potions, not seeing any at the moment. And I actually went the long way on that one, so don't mind me. Oh, there's our blue, and I'll go ahead and save that one for a second later because I'm actually not 100 sanity down from my max just yet, so I'll go ahead and spin back around right before moving on to the next zone with that one. So come up here, go ahead and just bypass that one since we're going to be coming back. Here we go. Let's go ahead and pick up that blue and top off our sanity here. Alright, this is another one. If you got a leap or something like that, you can go ahead and bypass the eye. Alright, again, you don't need to kill these corruption tumors, but as Outlaw, I tend to prefer it just because Outlaw requires a lot of buildup, and so you can get your resource on them, stuff like that, before we go into these fights right here. It just makes it a little bit easier for certain classes to get ramped up. Kind of got a couple overlapping mechanics there. Go ahead and get out of there. Alright. These little guys like to pat, so you're going to run into them every now and then. With this pull, I definitely wouldn't suggest most classes making this pull. The only reason I feel brave enough to go ahead and do this pull is because as a rogue I have Cloak of Shadows, and that allows me to just completely ignore mechanics for a little while. And it's normally just long enough for me to go ahead and kill all the important targets and not have to worry about anything. Oop, and I did a dumb. So there we go, that's going to be my self-res because I'm still doing the dumb. Alright, so just a little bit too short there. May have popped my Cloak of Shadows a little bit prematurely, but we're okay because we got that self-res from the our archive tree. So I'm going to go ahead and jump over this, grab this mob from the mailbox just because I want that mount. I don't know about you guys, but I most certainly want it. Alright, go ahead and pull into these guys. Got my Titan procced there, so that's good. It's going to stop any kind of losses of sanity for about 20 seconds or so and give us a bunch of haste. Alright, now I like to start on the far side here and just make my way over because we got to close 3 portals. Let's go ahead and stand here, and of course it blocks me off in true Blizzard fashion. There we go. Alright, so here's our first guy. And it looks like I'm about to summon one of those dudes. Yep, there he is. So that's for being under 50% sanity, because when you get your self-res, it's only going to put you at 50% sanity. So you're going to have to start dealing with that as we go on. So I like to weave out here and go back through the front door. I can see a treasure chest off in the distance there, but I'll go ahead and grab that on my way out. Got our portal keeper here, and we really want to focus on the portal keeper to make sure he doesn't get psychic stream off, but we also want to try and stop those casts that this void elemental is doing. The void buffet is going to make you take increased damage from shadow and all that, and that's just, I mean, that's just going to ramp up and up and up as it goes on. So it's better to just go ahead and take care of that. And we're about to get hit here. Oh, you rotten Blizzard. Alright, give me a second. Looks like we got a fear bomb there. Go through. Alright. Go ahead and get an interrupt on that. And looks like we got our extra mob spawn there, so that's always fun. There we go. Easy, easy. Make sure you get away from those void walkers when you kill them, because they're going to have a little bit of a martyrdom there. Alright, that gives me 200 sanity back, and that's going to give me plenty of time to go ahead and get back to... Let this go off first. It's going to give me plenty of time. It's a purple. No chest there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and kill this guy just to keep my buff rolling. I'm probably going to get a sanity spawn here soon, the have sanity spawn, so let's go ahead. Let's see. So there's that that box I was talking about earlier. It's gonna be a nice little boost. Oop, and I see an odd crystal here, and a blue crystal right there, or a blue potion, which is gonna give us a little bit more sanity, give us more time to run around and get our chests and stuff. There is our minion spawn there. So that's gonna help us actually keep our buff rolling, our haste buff and all that, as well as give me some combo points. So got the blue potion, odd crystal, good combo. So let's go ahead and get mounted up and get up to Ulrich. And rude. Not really sure what just dismounted me, but okay. So as we would with any boss, if we're starting to get low, we're gonna go ahead and pop our, oh you little, okay. Oh man, yep, it's wombo comboing me here, so it's gonna fear me right into the disorient, and that's just how that works. Alright, so go in here, and basically what we're gonna go ahead and do is pop our restoration orb just outside of range here, and then we're gonna pull in Ulrich. Where is the, okay, here we go. I'm not going to worry about the entropic missiles just because we want to get that polymorph. That's the bigger issue here. And he's going to teleport away. I'm going to just get up to him. Now, he's not too hard this week because we're not dealing with the slow mechanic. But he can still be a bit of a pain. You just want to get up to him to stop him from doing this little mechanic. And make sure we're focusing on... There's the polymorph, but he's not even going to get it off, so we're good. Alright, so we're maxed out on sanity right there, 1150. And all 4 of our bosses are dead. So, now we got plenty of time to spare. We can just mess around all we want, do whatever we want to do. You know. So, first and foremost, we're going to go ahead and get over here. And this is going to be the door that you actually unlock the... This is who you give your crystals to, and I didn't really find that many because I was just kind of focused in. We go ahead and talk to him. Yeah, I found 3 crystals. I believe there are 2 per area, or at least, I know I've had 6 before, but I've never had over that. But I'll have to double check on that a little bit more. Maybe I'll jump that into my my 5-mask video. We got our extra mementos there. I'm going to go ahead and kill this pack here because this is going to give us the rest of our haste buff. So our Vision Hunter buff, as well as give me some ramp up for the boss. So it looks like we got a pretty good set of buffs there as Outlaw, and we've got our 5-stack of Vision Hunter. So we're good to go as we are. So we're going to go ahead and get up here. I like to go ahead and get in this corner first. The reason I come up here first is because she's going to throw all those bombs, and we'd like to have that just in the corner. I'm going to go ahead and drop this. And pull her in. Keep that eye on our back, just like we did when we were dealing with, what's his name? And actually, I'm going to go ahead and lust here. May as well. Make sure you have drums. And there are those bombs I was talking about. I'm going to go ahead and cloak that poly. Normally I like to cloak this Void Eruption so I can just DPS straight through the first one, but since we used it at range on the cloak poly, we're going to go ahead and just, yeah, hide. And there's our Chains of Servitude, so we're going to make sure we're at least a little bit out. We don't need to worry about being too crazy far out, but yeah, we want to make sure that we're not getting into that circle, because that's just going to be pain in the butt right there. Okay. Corner. Get that kick on that poly. It's going to be pretty big deal. It's a super easy mechanic to dodge, but if you don't, it's also very punishing because you're just going to be getting your sanity drained the whole way through. So there we go. That's all done. So that is our 5 chest, 4 mask. If you have any other questions, concerns, or curiosities, please feel free to jump into the comments. I'd be more than happy to respond.
should it ever
And
come to pass.
yeah, tune in for the 5 mask video when I get the chance to get it all done. Thank you. Later.